From there.
All right, so can we get my mic up?
Huh?
Fucking mic's not working.
All right, well, let me get it. Hold on 1 second. All right. Is it going? Can you hear yourself?
Oh, fuck. Are we rolling?
Shit.
Are we seriously rolling right now?
All right, guys. Sorry about
I'm
that.
just keeping this shit in, bro. This is some bullshit. Straight up,
Cole,
bro.
what the fuck with the smoke, man? I said
Hey,
after
man.
we
Hey,
finish.
man.
Once we finish.
I'm
man,
smoking your ass out.
Shit. All right. Fuck. Hey, guys. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for being a part of this. Like, subscribe. We'll be with you all soon. Hopefully we have this shit together a little bit better. But hey, welcome to the family. Peace.
Yeah.
All right. Why are you looking at me like that, man?
Trying not to roast you for going, all right.
Can I not do that shit? Like, goddamn.
All right.
Well, fuck you too then, goddamn. That's all
I
we
tried
started
not
this
to. I
off.
was sitting here, and then you made me say it. I was going to mind my business.
Holy shit.
All right, folks.
All right, man. What's going on, everybody?
Shit, chilling.
Chilling,
It's been a week.
cooling.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yep.
I know what I want to talk about.
Okay.
What you got?
What you got?
I just
Lay
want,
it out.
I just want to. I've been meaning to rant about the Clippers on a public platform for a while now.
All right.
So I want
Drop
to
it.
complain about the Clippers.
Okay. All right.
I have several problems.
All right. And I have one. Why vegans are almost right.
Almost right. Okay.
Almost.
Almost.
Okay.
Very close.
All right.
Almost
All
right.
right.
Think the world's not black and white, ladies and gentlemen.
What? No.
You had me, man. You got me.
Fucking. All right. Victor, you got one?
Actually, no. I kind of want to talk about just the Floyd Mayweather situation that's happening.
You know. Jesus.
Hey.
Goddamn, Floyd.
He wants to come back out of retirement.
Well, we'll come to that. All right. I'm opening. Here we go. Fucking the Clippers.
They got clipped off, man.
They got clipped,
Like nothing.
and I've been
Like a
mad
barbershop.
ever since. Okay, so
The Europeans,
Mm-hmm.
how do you say his last name?
Jokic.
Jokic, Jesus.
Yeah.
But he's the Joker. Is his
Joker,
nickname.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I've had some kind of, Scotch will do that to you.
Uh-huh.
You'll slur
I've
your
had
words
some
into
kind
other
of-
words.
I've had some kind of alcohol. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to assign blame
Okay.
in order of which I think, who deserves the most blame.
In degrees of magnitude.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to start. Should I start from the bottom?
Started from the bottom.
I'm going to start at the
yeah.
bottom. We'll say number 4,
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is 4th.
All right.
Now listen, I've been defending Kawhi all week. Kawhi led the Los Angeles Clippers in points,
Mm-hmm.
steals, blocks, assists, and rebounds. That's 5 categories he led his team in through 7 games.
He's a bad.
Goddamn right he's a bad man.
Let's talk about
Led his team in 5 different categories, which is extremely impressive. However,
Yes.
I cannot, look at LeBron James and him, putting up great stats and then not getting it done at the end is the criticism, right? I can't do that there and not do it with Kawhi as well. He played well right up until the end. And honestly, I've never seen Kawhi with this kind of body language where I really think he went, you know what? Fuck this and fuck y'all.
Yeah.
We're done.
That's what it looked like to me, too.
That's what it looked
Yeah,
like.
that last game, yeah.
He didn't even take his Skip pointed this out. He didn't take his mid-range jumper.
He took it like twice in that game. and I think one of them fell. It was like one of the points he scored.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were stopping him from getting to his spots.
Right.
And I think he kind of quit in Game 6 too. I started to see elements of in the fourth quarter where he was just kind of like looking around, like, hang on a second, am I the only one that's worried right now?
Right.
Do they think I'm just going to save them right now? That's not how this works.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like that's literally like even Michael Jordan would, yeah, he'd come and save a game, but he'd wanted his entire team to have the same mentality that he had. It wasn't like they were all a bunch of bums who didn't have any heart, and they were just kind of going out there doing the same old thing, definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different result, which is Doc Rivers, which I'm sure is on your list.
Oh.
Keep going, Ty. That was a tangent.
Oh.
Keep going.
All right, so number 4 is
Clipper
Kawhi
roast.
Leonard because he didn't get it done in the end.
Yeah.
Although Kawhi Leonard is still my favorite basketball player.
Mama, there goes that man.
He's a bad man, y'all.
Yeah.
Number 3 goes to the supporting cast of the Clippers. Now, I am not including Paul George in the supporting cast. In my view, Paul George, it's like with the Lakers, right? LeBron is 1A, AD is 1B. On some nights, like last night, AD was 1A, LeBron was 1B. That's the way it was supposed to work with Kawhi and Paul George.
Until LeBron and AD's credit, they're living up to advertisement.
They're handling business, right? We were critical, or we questioned AD.
We had
I think
concerns.
I should say,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because he's never played in the biggest stages in basketball. We didn't know if he was going to step up, fall apart, stay the same.
Yep.
And at that level, if you just stay the same, you're doing your thing,
Right. No.
right? Like most of these superstar basketball players, if they can just stay the same,
Yeah, they're good.
then they're good,
Yeah.
right?
James Harden would have 3 rings right now.
Yeah.
If he could play the way he plays in the regular season, where he can put up 45 points at will,
Man.
get to the free throw line whenever he wants to get to the free throw line, control the tempo of the game, they would have not 3, but they'd win 1 at
Yeah.
least.
At
least.
least one.
At least one.
They probably have one in Oklahoma City, so that's 2.
Yeah.
And then they
Probably.
probably beat the Golden State Warriors a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can say Chris Paul's injury. I don't give a shit about that, honestly. They were still down. It was still a winnable game in Game 7, and they couldn't make the shots.
Yep.
Shout out to our boy Max Kellerman. He was consistent. Max is pretty consistent, isn't he?
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't get enough credit for that. I don't think.
Some people would respond with the whole he changed his number 1 pick. Giannis went from number 1 to number 4 from Thursday to Monday.
Are you referring to Stephen A?
Stephen A. When I say some people, I mean Stephen A. But to me, if you watch Giannis all regular season and then you watch him in the playoffs, you would go, if you watch him all regular season, you go, this is the best player, or at least the second best player. At worst, the third, right? I'd put him at 3, or would have put him at 3. And then he arrives in the playoffs. It's like, is this a top 10 guy in the playoffs? I don't know. Top 10 in the playoffs specifically.
No.
Ignoring the regular season?
Yeah.
I don't think he is.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the Clipper supporting cast. I'm including Lou
Okay.
in this. I'm including Montrez. Those 2 specifically. Patrick Beverly I'm including in this. Anybody? Shamit played okay.
And we're on your 3rd reason, right?
3rd, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've got 2 more to go after this one.
I think I know.
Yeah, I
where
think
it's
you
going.
know who.
I just don't know
number 2
who
and number
is
1.
1 and 2 the order. I don't know
Yes.
the order.
So Lou averaged 7 points
Uh-huh.
through the playoffs. Or was it the bubble? I think the playoffs. He averaged 7 points, whereas he was averaging 20 or almost 20 through the regular season. So to say that's a drop-off is an understatement. Montrez as well, also averaging around 20. If them 2 guys, again, just stay the same,
Yeah.
they win that series easily. They probably win in 5 if those 2 guys are putting up at 40 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40?
I think they
were
scored less
missing.
than 10
Yeah.
average, less than 10 in
Man.
the postseason, in the bubble.
They
Fuck
both
the team.
average less than 10, yes.
On like a 30 game, 20 or 30 games,
Come on, man.
less than 10.
Lord Jesus.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Okay, let's hear it.
Number 2,
Uh-huh.
Doc Rivers.
Ah. Yep.
I'm going Doc at number 2.
Ah.
Now, we started complaining in the first round about things not quite looking, things being kind of, I'm like, why isn't Kawhi just picking up Luka the whole fucking game? If Kawhi could do what he did on Giannis the year previous, he could, at the very worst, limit Luka Doncic. Luka is not a very good shooter. He's not. He's not a very good three-point shooter. He's not very good from the field. He's not a very good free throw shooter either. That's the weakest part of his game is his shooting. Now, in a big moment, he'll hit it.
Yeah.
So you can't just leave him. He's serviceable from out there, but he's not very good, much like Giannis. Luka's better at shooting than Giannis is. But still, if you can take away him getting to the basket, you can largely limit Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
If anybody could do that on your team, fucking Kawhi can.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, if you're worried about getting Kawhi in foul trouble, throw Paul George at him.
Throw Paul George.
Paul
at him.
George was fouling regardless.
Yes.
A lot.
This is your job.
I almost felt like
down.
he was
Yeah.
fouling on purpose because that gets him out of the game. I know that's a harsh thing to accuse somebody of, but there were elements where he looked absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
And he come and spoke out about this too. He was feeling not just depressed, but he's afraid. That's what he said.
Yep.
That's what he indicated.
Yep.
Is he feels like the bell, the alarm's been rung, and I will hold this till later.
Well, look, hold on. Hold on. We're going to come back around to him.
His look was like, dude,
Yep.
not yet.
Yep. So Doc, of course, said that we take pride in switching everything. Well, it's not working, Doc. Switching everything isn't working. They get against Denver, and they keep switching every screen and roll. And what happens when you run a screen and roll?
They fucking did.
They switched every time. When you run a screen and roll, Murray has the ball. Joker is setting the pick. Joker don't roll.
Nope.
Joker pops to the three-point line.
Oh, looky, you do that. You look at that. Look at that.
This motherfucker was more open from the three-point line more times than
They were
I
shooting set shots, bro.
Man.
Wide open, taking his time shooting them too. I mean, wide open because Zubac's. It took him 5 minutes to
Shit.
get out there to the three-point
Yeah.
line. We could put him in the supporting cast. Not,
Yeah.
He got fucking manhandled.
But Joker made him
Just
look.
outplayed.
He
made
looked
him
like
look-
he shouldn't be in the league, bro.
Yeah.
He looked like a
It
tall
really-
dude at the YMCA that usually can have his way with someone, but somebody else that's also 7 foot walked into the fucking building
With more
but that knows
coordination,
how to play
just-
basketball.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
As
killed
Max would say, imagine a guy your size that's actually good at basketball.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan Hollins.
Yeah, he's like you, but he's good.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, really, if you think about it. Oh, man. He's just good. So, also, I should point out, Doc Rivers is the number one coach in history as far as giving up 3-1 playoff leads. He's lost a 3-1 playoff series 3 times in his career. Once with Tracy McGrady at the height of his powers. Second time with James Harden at the height of his powers. A third time this year with the Los Angeles Clippers, who I would argue is the best team he's coached.
You mean Chris Paul? You said James Harden.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Forgive me. Yes.
No worries.
Yes. Chris Paul. Yes. Forgive me. And I think that's indicative of a lack of being able to adjust throughout a series. There is no way in hell you should be able to. It should be harder to give up a 3-1 series than it is to win it. It seems like it would be more difficult to lose 3 straight than it would be to just win 1.
Yeah.
I second that. That seems. It seems like there's an old saying. It's like you really, you'd have to. No one can fuck up a county fair. If you've heard that saying, it just basically means there's an element to which this thing is so self-organized and already in motion. It's like stopping a fucking a boulder going down the stream or down the hill.
Right.
Yeah.
The rapid succession of just things, kinetic energy, just things moving forward. Getting in front of that, slowing it down, and stopping the momentum seems like far, far more difficult than it was to like stomp them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like pushing the ball is like You get it going. As long as you do the right game plan, things will slope, and you'll have your slope. You just push the fucking ball down it.
Yeah.
No game plan though, and now you're the guy that's just like, oh my god, I need to catch this fucking ball as it goes. Doc Rivers needed to make adjustments in Game 7. He should have started making adjustments in the Mavericks series.
Yeah.
But even if I grant him total ignorance on the behalf of his kind of military style of coaching, which is, we're going to do my plays, we're going to run my pick and rolls, my screens on defense. No, man. We get into our right zones, it doesn't matter. We have Montrez, we have Kawhi, we have Lou, we have Patrick Beverly, we have Paul George. All these guys are great. They're not, if not great defenders, they're very good defenders. And therefore, we should be able to pick and switch with every other player in the world. Mm-hmm. The problem is that's just not true.
You're right. And it obviously was not working from the first series. The Mavericks won a game with just Luka.
Yeah.
KP, Porzingis, injured.
Almost the whole series.
Yeah.
6 games.
Come on, man. No.
I was
it wasn't
worried
enough.
a little bit after the Dallas series. I went, ugh. They can ignore a lot of obvious flaws
You're right.
in a way that no team I've ever seen does.
Yeah. Yeah.
They literally look like, oh yeah, we suck at this, but we're so good.
We're going to flip the switch. And
Yeah.
the analogy I always use is you better not forget what a fucking switch is. If you're in the
Right.
dark too long, you ain't going to be able to find that motherfucker.
Especially if the room's quite big. And the room, that bubble, as far as anyone's concerned, is big.
Yeah.
It's small because you need to go take care of business. Make it small.
Yep.
But it's big because a lot of fuck-ups can happen when you're not paying attention. You take down your sight just for a second. True in life, too. It isn't just basketball. If you're in coronavirus right now and you're at your house and you think that the government's fixing everything out there, and when you go back out to encounter the world, you'll have your job, you'll have your security, you'll have this and that, or you should have it. That's a better way of putting it. You might think you won't have it, but you should have it. I think that entire mindset is one of Paul George.
Yeah. Yeah. Last point on Doc Rivers, and then we'll get to him because that's obviously number one.
Playoff P.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's a playoff P.
Just, I don't know where
He's
he's
just garbage. No, he's there.
He's there.
Playoff piss,
He's
man.
there. That's the problem. If he just wasn't there, that'd be fine. They'd
What
have
was
been
his new
better.
nickname? Pandemic P?
That's it. Pandemic P.
Pandemic P? Wow.
Last point about Doc. As far as the switching thing.
Hey, can we get the scotch over here and put it right here? And
Yeah.
I want to get some more. Keep going. I'm sorry.
On offense, the Clippers were not that bad. They were scoring enough points to win games. They were still regularly scoring well over 100 points. Their problem was not – their number one problem was not their offense, I don't think.
Yeah.
Their number one problem was their defense. They were giving up well over 100 points to Dallas, also to the Nuggets. The Nuggets were just scoring at will at a certain point. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. had open looks all night. And as far as like rotations, every other team in the playoffs gets their rotation down to like 8 dudes. You're starting 5, and you maybe got 3 guys coming in off the bench. The Nuggets are like, they got a 7, maybe 8 guy rotation if somebody gets in foul trouble.
Yeah.
But they're playing the same guys pretty much the whole game because this is the playoffs. You play your best players. Your Joker and Murray, again, as long as there's no foul trouble, we want them out there for 40, 43, 44, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're our best players. We want you on the court. I regularly was seeing Reggie Jackson coming in the game. And Shamet. And they're not bad players. But why are they touching the put the ball in Kawhi's hand and run a screen for him, get him to a spot, let him shoot it 40 times. If Paul George doesn't want to play.
You remember Toronto last year, what they would do is they do a pick and pop with Kawhi where they would have someone come set a screen and then they'd try to get the ball back to him. And off that screen, they get him to a kind of high percentage look. That was something they did a lot last year in the playoffs. That kind of top of the key the shallow 3, the deep 2, or they'd get him to the step back 3. But he needs to get to his spots.
Yeah.
And the Clippers don't do anything to help that. They just go, you're good enough ISO player, get to your spots.
Right. Yeah.
And it forces him, I think, I just don't like ISO ball. I think you should, how does that even make sense? Good ISO ball. Like, even if my player is really great at isolation, I still think I want to set a screen to get him to his spots because it's just going to be even better.
Yeah.
In a miracle moment towards the end of the shot clock or in crunch time, that's when that stuff is, like, needed. But the whole game, you shouldn't be trying to fight off screens. Kawhi shouldn't have to deal with double teams where he gets no help.
Yeah.
Oh, he can pass the ball. Hang on. No. I want him to have the ball.
I don't want him to pass the ball.
That's the problem. Like, if somebody else has to beat you, we're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
Kawhi needs to be the most effective. I hate it when they say let the best player beat you because that's so stupid. Of course, as the team you're saying doesn't want the best player to beat you is the fucking team that wants my best player to beat your team. I want my best player to beat your team because that means my team is functioning efficiently and in the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
There's no faulty system. I don't want Paul George going off for 55 if Kawhi is only going to have 10 points because that's going to mean we have an issue with Kawhi now. And that's a bigger issue than Paul George.
Yeah.
So I want my best player to play like the best player on the team, and I want him to have that confidence, and I want him to think that when he goes into each game, I am going to make the right decisions for this guy to get open and to make his shots, and if he fails, he at least knows he failed on his own tuition, not on something we've designed that is pretty much like not using his best skills, which is get him to his spots, work him in the mid-range, let him post up. They didn't let him post up a lot. He was kind of stuck in the elbows, and you can say that's just Kawhi, or you can say he was trying to get the other guys rotated into the – he was clearly trying to get Zubac and fucking Montrezl Harrell into the rotation, and those guys just – they couldn't do nothing with this man.
Yeah.
They ran a lot of pick and rolls with Kawhi having the ball and Zubac setting the pick. And to his credit, is why he led the team in assists. A lot of those assists went to Zubac, like Kawhi passing the ball to Zubac on a pick and roll, and he'd sneak it between the defenders, and Zubac would get an easy dunk or layup. I think the coaching was just bad, and there was a lack of adjustments throughout the series. And I think the Clippers were so talented, they were able to get away with their bad habits and get up to a 3-1 lead. And then finally, Michael Malone figured out, we can. They made one or two adjustments.
Man.
And then they won 3 straight.
Bro, as you're telling me this, I'm like slowly boiling inside.
I've been mad all week.
It's fucked my week up too, bro. And the Cowboys lost to fucking
people. You know.
The Cowboys lost too. That shit. And that
I've
was
come
the
to
same day.
expect the Cowboys to let me down. Fuck. I say this with no joy,
Yeah.
all misery. But the consistent point is Kawhi Leonard. I'm a Kawhi Leonard fan. If you said there's a bigger Kawhi Leonard fan than me, I'll be like, no. I'm sure there is, but I just, in my head, it's like, this
exist.
guy, I'm completely sold.
Yeah.
This guy is, he's got something, he's got some sort of edge on his shoulder. This motherfucker, I don't think people realize, Kawhi Leonard wasn't at all a very good offensive player when he came into the league.
He was terrible on offense.
He couldn't shoot.
Nope.
He couldn't dribble the ball.
Nope.
He couldn't pass.
Nope.
He had no form. He had no mid-range shot. He didn't develop that until recently.
He was a damn good defender.
Practice.
Amazing
Not
defender.
a game. Not a game.
He developed
Not a game.
over the years. He developed that offensive game, and that to me is far more impressive than because I also think he's going to keep on getting better.
Yeah.
You know, he's
sure.
going to keep on whittling away at the holes in his game until
I think the hole in his game this year, if there is one, it is under circumstances in which it's not going to maximize my ability to help win the game. So I'm handicapped just based on the fact that my team is stupid. How can I be efficient at just sitting in the back taking shots? Right? How can I get better at taking threes and spot up like Klay Thompson style playing? Where I should have the ball, but I don't fucking have the ball. but we can't afford to lose at the same time. I think Kawhi's going to have to learn how to do. He's going to have to learn how to do that, and that's probably the wrong phrase because he did that in San Antonio for years, trying to find the ability to allow his teammates not to be better. I don't think that's the right way of looking at it. It's just you can't help but the situations they put you in the playoffs. And so I think he needs to be better at playing off the ball. And I think he's already good at it, but he can become great to where even if the game plan doesn't utilize him the best way, the second game plan, which is second tier, is still him better than the next guy getting there. Because Jordan did it. Kobe did it.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe definitely did it with Shaq.
Yeah.
The best version of Kobe was after Shaq, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It was when he was able to be the top of the triangle, to be the guy bringing the ball up the court, to be the guy where they say, bring us home.
Yeah.
When Shaq was there, that wasn't the case. When Shaq was there, they split the obligation, and also Shaq was the focal point of the offense. They tried to beat you with Shaq first before they went to Kobe.
Yeah.
The Shaq thing is when you get in foul trouble, every foul puts Shaq at the free throw line. So towards the end of games, they had to bring Kobe into the game to try to win because Shaq just was incapable of doing it. Yeah. But in general, Shaq was the primary option. But Kobe learned how to be the best version of a Batman and Robin of all time, probably. I think Kobe was a better Robin than Scottie Pippen was a Robin because really what you had was two Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
But they did work through Shaq more. He got more touches.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
the analogies are going to fall short of how special they were. But Paul George and Kawhi's going to have to learn. I think he's going to have to learn that not everyone's built like him. How do I get other people involved into that process?
Yeah.
When it's not contagious like it was last year.
Yeah, I do think he's going to have to figure out also how to motivate these guys following behind him. Because I do think his demeanor had a negative impact on problem number one. Paul George.
Playoff P.
Agreed.
Playoff P. Oh,
Pandemic.
Listen, playoff P is a real thing.
Yeah.
He definitely looks like a totally different player in the playoffs. He definitely does.
Poor guy.
The Clippers played 13 postseason games, and I believe he scored more than 20 twice.
Wow.
Here's the thing. Paul George could easily be the face of the league. This guy's 6'9", 6'10", handsome.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all the skills that you need.
Yeah.
Great shooter. He's got an excellent, like, he looks like, what was the character in And One? The one that was, like, silky smooth. One was, like, real smooth, and when he hit when he, like, swished a shot, it'd have, like, that effect.
Was that his name?
I was about to say,
like
silk.
Silk or something like that.
Silk,
yeah.
like silk.
Paul
something.
George is that in the NBA. That guy, when he's actually looking good, he will take he'll dribble the ball in front of your face and he'll just step back a few inches and just let it go.
Yeah.
And he just walks away, and it has this sort of hits it from a high point, and it just swooshes to where the whole fucking bottom of the net goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a certain type of player. Kevin Durant can do that too.
Yeah. Paul George, I think, is definitely.
Forgive me, KD.
No, we're not putting Kevin
in the same.
No, Paul George don't belong in no conversation with no Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant got it done.
Yeah.
As the one or two wheel, depending on, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. He made the big shots when he needed to make the shots.
He got it done. Paul George played like absolute shit. And this is what I was saying about it would have been one thing if he didn't show up.
Yeah.
Because just not showing up means that Kawhi gets 5 more shots. Out of the 20 Paul George would have taken, Kawhi gets 5 more. Shamet gets 2 or 3 more. Pat Bev gets 2 or 3 more 3-pointers. Lou gets a couple more shots. Montrez gets a couple more shots. Paul George was still shooting. He never stopped shooting. That whole, just keep shooting. Then it'll go in eventually. He believes that. He never stopped shooting. He still was taking north of 15 shots a game. He just would miss most of them. What? He was shooting less than 30% from the field, less than 20% from three. He
Wow.
played like absolute shit.
Yeah.
Turning the ball over,
Hitting the back
dumb
of the
fouls
fucking backboard
in
there.
Game 7. That was the cherry on top.
Yeah.
That was a cherry on fucking top when he hit the side of that backboard and it just doinked off and he just kind of put his head down and got back on it.
I got a question. What do you think Kawhi thought? Deep at night, all alone in that bubble. Probably at a Motel 6 just sitting there.
I think he got back home to the missus, and when he laid down next to Mrs. Leonard, he was like, shit! I fucked up.
Are you sure? I think Kawhi's like that guy that's just, he holds it in so long. You remember when he hit that shot?
Oh, and he lost it.
He hit that
Yeah.
shot and he was like, ah!
He lost his shit.
man.
He wasn't timid then.
Yeah.
He was in Game of Zones. Shout out to Game of Zones,
Uh-huh.
not Game of Thrones, because you fucked up season 8.
And she was ass.
You fucked up season 8.
Paul
Anyway,
George
Game
is
of-
the Game of Thrones.
Game of
season 8
Zones was like a
basketball player.
Yes.
rip of Game of Thrones, and it was pretty cool. Bleacher Report did it.
Yep.
And in that series, Kawhi was basically the Night King.
Yeah.
He was the White Walker. He was the monster.
Yep.
The monster.
And
But,
listen,
yeah, he was the monster. And then this year they forced him to, like, I don't know, lose his soul.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
mediocrity.
I do feel like, I said this, I was like, I feel like they infected him with their normalcy, their their lightness. Oh, yeah, we made the second round. We did good. Oh, yeah. Good job, team.
And
No.
Kawhi went download.
Yep.
Yep.
I suck now.
I'm gonna, yeah. And Paul George, his greatest offense, in my view, is not necessarily that he played poorly. If he had played poorly, and he gets in a post-game press conference and goes, I played like shit. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to my teammates. I'm sorry to the Clippers fans who thought we were fine. This team was finally going to get over the hump after waiting 40 years, whatever it's been, to make it to a conference finals and win that. That's not what he said. He gets in the post-game press conference and goes, internally, we all felt this was not a championship or bust year.
What?
Not a championship or bust year.
What?
Not a championship or bust year.
What?
Which is a load of horseshit.
Yep.
And like you said, you would love to know what Kawhi thinks. I want to know what Steve Ballmer thinks, the
Yeah.
owner of the Clippers. When
When
he
he
heard that,
Ooh.
if I was the owner of that team and I had just invested $1 bazillion into it, I got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George onto a team that went how many games with the Warriors last year?
Six games, yeah.
With a fully loaded Warriors.
Uh-huh.
You add Paul George and Kawhi to that team. Take nothing off of it.
Yeah.
The sixth man of the year is on that team.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy who came in second or third in voting for the sixth man of the year.
On that team.
Yeah.
Also on that team, right? You've got two-way wings, historically speaking. You got two great two-way wings. You win a lot of games.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably
That's
win a
facts.
championship, right?
You betted your money on all of that.
He purchased the Forum,
Uh-huh. Rebranded the entire Clippers.
got new jerseys, new everything.
Let's put some context on this. The Forum. Basketball wasn't basketball until Showtime happened.
Yep.
Yes.
And this isn't just for the NBA. Showtime made basketball entertaining for the entire world.
Yep.
It made the game global. Michael Jordan brought it to another level. Michael Jordan brought the game to another level. So respect to the GOAT. But the people that put it on the map were Magic Johnson, Showtime, and then Larry Bird back in Boston.
Yeah.
The rest of the league really wasn't holding up to its end.
No.
You had Dr. J before then,
Yeah. But
around the same time. But
Yeah.
outside of that,
Yeah.
it was Dr. J, Magic, Bird. Everyone else was boring.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
The
forget,
Forum is where they played, though. That's where all
Yeah.
those memories
Most
happened
notable.
at.
they made basketball the coolest show in town. It
Yeah.
was Showtime. It was, they had a goddamn club in the Forum. And anybody who was anybody in Los
Went.
Angeles,
To
And it was the best show in town, and the best show in town in Hollywood is a damn good show.
yeah.
right?
And that was the Lakers for a long time.
Yes, yeah. the awful timeout entertainment you see in the NBA. Started then. The cheerleaders
coming out. And,
they did that before the cowboy cheerleaders that came sometime later.
yep.
They made
Man.
the cheerleaders a thing in basketball, right?
Yeah, a lot of the all-star practices come from the Lakers too, I believe. The kind of announcing of the names in this sort of over cinematic way.
Right.
I mean, that's in all sports now, but the Lakers kind of started doing
Originated
that. They
that,
were
wow.
yeah, definitely. They were the godfathers of that. And starting at 6'7" from da Magic Johnson, you know, they started that. I mean, it was already there, but they brought it to like, you know what? I know this seems silly, but we're going to just like do this the same way they make 2001 Space Odyssey.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
gonna-
announcing some of the most premier athletes on the planet. They deserve this moment in the sun of being talked about as if they're gods walking amongst boys, because they are to some degree.
Yeah. add some
Physically, they
pageantry to it.
definitely are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely added the cinematic flair to the NBA, and it's carried on throughout the rest of.
But they bought
throughout
that.
all of sports.
Yeah.
He bought that.
They purchased that arena, the Forum, and they are they remodeling it, or are they building another arena for the Clippers?
They're
Steve
building-
Ballmer.
they're remodeling. No, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No.
fine.
Yeah. No, they're remodeling the Forum, but not much.
Yeah.
They're just going to change the court and update it just a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're building the most expensive basketball court ever known to man in
It's going to be. Are they building the facilities like right next to where they're having?
this
the-
is really a bad thing to forget about as a white guy.
Well,
just drawing a blank here.
I'm drawing a blank. Help me out. It's in
It's in
Inglewood?
Inglewood.
you no good motherfucker. You.
I'm like, where's it at? If I say Compton, I'm done. I'm absolutely
Cancel him.
I finished professionally, and I'm
So-
not got there. Ah!
It's going to be between Inglewood and Culver City. So where they're building a new stadium
See,
for
you
the
knew.
Rams.
You could have just jumped in and saved me. I wanted to say God damn it. That's see that.
Yeah, you did.
I can't trust him now, man.
I left you out there by yourself to crumble. They have invested a bazillion.
Edibles and scotch. Okay.
They've
Fun
invested
times, man.
a lot of money. And so for you to say this is not a championship or bust year, first of all, that's obviously not true.
At all.
And we've always felt internally, I was like, who else? Because nobody else said this
No.
after the game. No one else. Even if you did say that, even if you did feel that way behind.
Kawhi.
Yep. Yeah, right? I'm like, he might. You better watch your mouth, Paul. Motherfucker might choke you out in your sleep. If
Them
you
big
get
ass hands.
mitts
I mean,
around your neck, you ain't gonna get him
Wasn't
off.
he already rooming
He
with
don't
them
even have to
anyway?
do this, bro.
The bubble?
Kawhi can go like this and just wrap it around.
Easily.
Like a Dragon Ball Super where, what was it, the god of destruction?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like
Beerus.
with it wasn't Beerus. It was the one that used the big guy. It was in the
Jiren?
Tournament of Power.
Jiren.
No, and he squeezed. That was Jiren? When
no,
he
it's not.
squeezed Frieza's head like this?
Oh,
it
that
Popo
was
or-
that was
no, not
Topo.
Topo. There we
Topo,
go.
yeah.
Shout out to Topo, man.
Yeah,
Big ass
yeah.
hands.
He's using
He-
God of Destruction power. I
Yes,
remember
he
that.
did.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
he did. Yeah. You're right. You remember that shit?
Dragon Ball Z, right?
It was great, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty good. No one else on the team said this.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that internally the whole team felt this way. I don't believe you.
No.
And also, specifically for Paul George, they traded away their entire future to get you on this team.
Yeah.
They got rid of all their draft picks for Paul George. All of them.
See that
Everything they
poltergeist
had.
in here, man?
Don't play with me, man. I'll get up and walk out of here. Don't play with me.
It's right. Listen,
No.
man.
I will knock both of y'all out. No, I don't do no.
Just
I
so you
do
guys
no
don't
demon
know,
shit.
just so you guys don't know, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring it up. I have to. We have to go there for just a second. Ty, he has like. Have you ever heard of irrational fears, like spiders or whatever? Ty, anything paranormal. Ty is to say he's done is an understatement.
Yeah, he leaves the room very quickly.
There's a video
He's
I've
on
been
a
trying to
sprint.
show Ty for a year. Nope. Where I'm like, you know what? If you see this video, link in the description below.
Yep.
If you see this video,
Y'all
you
can
will
watch
be
it.
like, you know what, man? I don't know what's going on. Maybe there really is something looking at me at night over my bed. I don't know.
Yeah, keep it up.
Ah,
I'm gonna
the
knock
shadow
your ass
demon,
out one of
bro.
these
hovering
days.
there.
The both
cloaked.
of y'all. Yeah, okay.
Shadow demon.
Yeah, okay. All right. Knock both of y'all ass out. Last night when the earthquake hit,
Oh, did you feel that shit? I was wondering if anybody else felt
I
that
felt
shit
it. I
because
felt
nobody
it.
came out.
I was so high, bro. I was smoking a sativa, and I was talking to Frank on the phone.
Are you all right, Nick?
I got white girl hair on me.
It's that poltergeist, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you, bitch.
But
Go ahead.
what was I saying?
You were
talking about
smoking
the
a sativa.
I was smoking
Which
a
I
sativa.
done told you about smoking these goddamn sativas.
In my car,
Kobe,
in
and
my
then
car
fucking-
was just going. Whoa, 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 whoa. And Frank's like, "Man, did somebody go by you real quickly?" And I'm like, "No." I think it was an earthquake, but I'm so fucking not
Gone.
sober. Yeah, and I'm not just gone. Like I'm in such a good mood to where I felt it and was just like, 2020 is a weird year. And I sat there and I looked at the car in front of me, and the car in front of me was slowly just kind of jostling position like this. Yeah, it was an earthquake. And I was glad to find out that it was an earthquake, because if it wasn't an earthquake,
Hey, bro,
I would be getting a CAT scan today.
Hey, y'all want to know what I thought happened?
What?
When I woke up and my bed was fucking rocking back and forth? I said either Cole or Victor done snuck in here, got under my bed, and they shaking that bitch. I said, I'm going to look under the bed, and I'm going to see one of their dumb faces under my bed going.
Holy shit.
I sat up and I said, I'm knocking one of you out. Whoever it is, I'm knocking your ass out. And then my phone went off and it was like, earthquake
Yeah.
11 miles from you. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Because it
And
was
in-
in El Monte, if I'm correct.
This is the third one since we've been here?
5.0 or something.
Yeah, it was like a 4.81, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4.8.
Okay. That 8.1. What? Adding that one part.
Hey,
Is that necessary?
Hey,
Damn it.
81729.
There's been 3 earthquakes since we've been here? 4? 3 or 4?
I think more than that.
yeah.
More than 4?
I think
Well,
that's been like
I felt a few shudders.
tiny
yeah.
ones that have happened.
There was one when we first got here. Someone that was staying with who was it? Someone was over, and I remember they were like, "Did you feel that?" And I'm like, "I kind of did." And then it was like a 2.9 or 3.2 at Griffith Park. You guys can look this up. It was in 2018, I think.
2018. Was
Yeah,
that?
They
I don't
didn't
think
have
you were.
a-
I don't think
I
you
don't
were
think I
out
was
here.
here yet.
No,
You
you
weren't,
weren't. You
no.
were in LA. You were.
I was still doing
You were
with the
back in.
hurricane
Yeah,
and
you were.
bullshit.
You were in the
That was-
hurricane
Oh, yeah.
inventory
You
over
had
there.
a whole nother thing to deal with. All right.
Flash flooding.
right.
Completely. It's incredible, right? That people on the West Coast can't imagine what over rain and flash flooding and
And all, yeah.
and tidal surges and this
A
type of
whole
thing.
different beast.
Yep.
Right, but people in where we're from, they think about earthquakes as
They're
like,
like, hell no.
that's some
I'm out.
demon shit.
gone.
Yeah.
The ground move underneath you?
Never do that shit.
Fuck that. No.
Nah.
And it's on fire
I
everywhere.
remember my uncle was telling me it looks like if you're on top of the hill and you're looking, he said it looks like it's waving like this.
Fuck no.
It's going. Everything on the surface is coming up a couple inches and going down.
Yeah.
And so,
Nah.
therefore, the whole thing has waves to it. You can get on YouTube and
I'd
find
be
what this looks like. It
purely
kind of looks like a
terrified.
rumble, but if you slow it down and zoom in, there's a slight. It's waves. Is what's happening.
Yeah.
It's vibrations of yeah. And as it travels up like waves.
Uh-huh.
Interestingly enough, if you're in a tunnel underground, you're safer than you are all above ground.
My ass.
Looks like the good Lord just sent me a
I'm telling you, man.
conversation starter.
If the
that.
tunnel's built to where it's going to break up, no. But if the tunnel
Yeah.
is flexible, then it's safer than the ground.
Which
it's like
is-
if you're in the sea and there's 15-foot swells on the top of the ocean. Underneath the swell of the ocean, if you go down far enough, you can just sit there and swim. If you go up to the top of the surface,
Yeah.
where the tide and the moon's grabbing the shit. Oh, by the way, guys, the moon every night is going, give me that shit. It's just grabbing the fucking ocean and it's just pulling it in slowly and surely. And fish are just like, okay, yeah, this is part of life. And then they go right into, and then the shark comes out of nowhere and eats them. Okay? Because evolution is our master at the end of the day. It is the only thing that guides us towards Sports.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Man, look. Fuck all that. Do it again. Do it again.
Fuck all what?
I'm coming across this table on one of y'all. You do this poltergeist shit again, I'm knocking one of you
Listen,
out.
man. I did not touch that light.
Man, okay, sure.
Bro,
All right.
I swear to God. No, listen, guys. This light
That switch is over
has
there.
a switch on his side. Switch is on his side.
That's not true. There's another switch. They're full of shit. Don't believe them.
Dude, this is absolutely fact.
Yeah.
I have no. This is not a light with a very sophisticated switch
At all.
It's got one switch on it.
Y'all better stop playing with me. I'm gonna throw that shit outside. Y'all don't wake up. That bitch is gonna be in the bushes or something. Keep playing with me. I don't do this. I don't do this demon shit.
Oh, you're starting to piss me off, you little piglet son. of a
Exactly. Yeah. Keep it
the other way
up.
around, man. It's the other way around.
All right. What did you want to talk about?
Well, I talked about it.
You did.
No, I really, I was going to be nature, but I mean, I went on a more fringe topic,
Yeah.
super nature, and yeah, it sounds ridiculous, I know, but it's just like nature, I think. Just like nature. You can die in both of them. You're fucked in both worlds.
Yo, that's what he said. Well, I was gonna talk about nature,
But
I changed. I decided
I'm going super nature.
You guys are. This is disrespectful.
super nature, and it's just as
man.
fucked up.
like in South Park, the super devil.
Listen. You guys
Super
got,
devil.
You gotta let me go through. Listen, you gotta let me go through my natural progressions. Otherwise,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
otherwise I ain't gonna get there.
My bad, dog.
Listen, it's gone. It's fucking gone. It got on a boat and drifted away.
That's the thing with recording
outta
while
here.
high. We can't interrupt each other
Yeah.
because you're totally gonna forget what you were talking about.
Hey, listen, man, we just having a good time. Listen, we're talking about ghosts and shit, demons and shit.
No,
I
we're
know
not.
this. Yeah, okay. All right.
Talking
He's
about ghosts?
Ty, the scientist over there is very superstitious, guys.
No. I'm gonna not see that you're doing that.
I'm
and
going to
knock you
research
out.
some ghosts that exist inside the glands.
No such thing.
Okay, yeah, well, all right. I'm gonna get one that where he's even at the gym, he's trying to work out, and he's like, "Fuck, it's in me." Yeah,
I'm been possessed by
man.
a ghost.
fitness ghost.
We love nature videos in
So
this
much.
domicile.
So much.
We saw one of an eagle on top of a lizard. It was a large lizard. And this eagle, I think birds might just be the most evil animal or the most evil group.
Yeah.
It might be
I
because they just don't seem to give a fuck about anything.
No.
Right? Like,
thought cats were bad, but yeah.
even like big cats, they go for the neck. They
Yeah.
kill their prey instantly. They crush the windpipe. That's it.
I would agree with birds.
Unless you
I mean,
got a house
then they
cat.
eat.
That's
you have
just a
eagles
They're
to
different. They're a little
to
different.
vultures to buzzards,
Right.
which will eat anything.
All evil.
Yep.
Buzzards
Even the
are-
eagles.
Buzzards, to give some context, the orcs in some way were based on some buzzard-like behavior.
Wow.
Completely, everything's dead, including the things you eat.
Yeah.
It's a level. It's a next level.
Yeah.
Next level kind of.
This eagle was on top of a lizard, and it had its talons, its claws, dug in, right? And it was going specifically at the lizard's eyes. Just kept picking. And of course, an eagle's beak is extremely sharp. So
Yeah.
it was successful with the eyes. It looked like it couldn't get its beak through the lizard's
Socket.
hide. And so the only soft part it had to go through,
I mean,
Jeez.
yeah, was its eyes. And it didn't kill it. The thing was alive.
Oh, no.
Still,
It
it's
was
just still
Plucked
kicking.
out his eyes.
It was-
Oh my god.
you guys ever seen Gangs of New York when the girl jumps off of the building and she
Yeah.
just plucks out the eye, and the guy's just screaming.
Yeah.
Everything else is working fine, but that eye.
This lizard couldn't even scream.
Damn it. Didn't have that.
Oh, he was screaming. We just don't have the ear.
We don't have the capacity to hear.
Can you imagine?
Nothing
comes out.
Matt,
Oh my god!
put Matt Ryan gif, right?
yeah, that Matt Ryan, Jim. Oh, with that motherfucker. I want to know what
man.
game that was from,
Yes.
bro. If that was in the Super
That
Bowl.
was after Tom Brady must have called him, and it was the year after the Super Bowl. It was the year after the Super Bowl. He's like, you remember when you lost your soul in that game? You just drifted away in your basketball spirit. He's like, Vegeta, the power of Tom Brady.
Seagulls.
Yeah.
We know how seagulls get down.
Oh my God.
Seagulls, listen,
Evil. They're evil.
Hugely.
They eat shit whole.
yeah, just throw Alka-Seltzer that way. Don't do that. Don't, ladies and gentlemen, don't do that.
Yeah, there's a
bad
whole
results.
video out there of a seagull that ate a rabbit whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted my
Just-
reaction to it. And I got a lot of reactions to my reaction. And a lot of people going, what? Seagulls to do a seagull. That rabbit weighed more than that seagull.
Oh yes. Oh, it was full. It didn't move after that.
The seagull couldn't even hardly. I went. That's what you get. It's probably gonna fucking sit there and die. It can't fly.
Almost
Yeah.
certainly it died.
Almost certainly that thing died because it swallowed a rabbit
Just
whole.
Ooh.
I mean, what's it going to do? Digest it?
Nah.
And by the way, birds have to eat like, geese do. To compare, I don't know about the rest of birds, but I do know that they have like a very complex digestive system to where they're shitting all the time, eating all the time, and they're eating sand. It's breaking down the food.
Yeah.
Shitting in the sky. That's why you'd be walking around.
Complete
and then
assholes.
just, hey, by the way, do you guys remember when we first got to Austin? Do you remember this at all? We had just got to Austin. I got my suit on. We're in high school. And the first thing that happens, maybe it was regional. The bird just shit on me, bro. This motherfucker just flew over. And I remember, Durio,
shit.
our theater teacher at the time, went, oh my God, and just looking at me. And it was just, I had a big thing of shit just right here.
Damn. That's
And everyone's looking at me like,
Yo.
you didn't know what to laugh or be to like, you know what, that could have happened to me. Because
Nah,
that's
bro.
the way I looked at
I
me.
remember getting out of the car and seeing the shit hit your head.
Bro, and I remember someone asking me, I don't remember who it was. They said, where was he at? And I'm like, flying. That's where he was at. The fuck
Bro,
you mean?
I remember you took off to find a restroom to try to get the bird shit out of your
Oh, my
head.
God.
And I went behind you.
It was on my suit too. It was
and
just
you
a-
were you were of course like running to get to the restroom. And so I walked behind you, and I remember coming in behind you, and you were like trying to get it out in between, like gagging, and I fell. He was, bro. That might be the
shit.
hardest you ever made me laugh, bro. I was dying. I could not stop laughing.
That's
that
exactly
at
what
state?
happened though. It was on one of those trips. I don't.
I
think
want
it
to
was
say that was region
I think
because I
you're
think
right,
we were
yeah.
at Blinn.
we were there.
I vaguely
Yeah.
remember being at Blinn.
There was
yeah.
trees. There was a place where these birds would be.
We got out of the car. Cole took one step.
Oh,
And I was feeling
man.
good, man. I had my suit on. I'm like, look at me.
Perfect
I
place.
look good.
Just happy.
Oh my
And the
God,
universe
yo.
just said, fuck you one morning.
You're fucking happy. Fuck you, guys.
Man, that shit was so funny. Fuck birds, though.
Yeah.
God's a comedian, man.
You told what's the one with the big like
Pelican.
pelicans? Those evil fucks. Them too. They're evil.
Shout out to Zion.
They just take stuff and they just store it in their gullet for
Yeah.
later while it's still alive. Can you imagine being in that thing's mouth
Just moving around.
as it's flying?
Trying to get
I
out.
wonder if this is how like that like myth of the bird carrying the baby to the houses.
Store it? Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe they seen it like grab up a fucking like walrus, a
child.
baby walrus. Or something. And they're like, well, of course they can carry children. Look at that
Yeah.
fat fucking thing he just put in his mouth.
I think an eagle would try to eat a baby. We watched the harpy eagle.
I bet $1 million
sloth.
in human history, and I say all of
Hilarious.
human history, last 2 million years, definitely happened once.
Hold
Yes.
up. Have
Certainly.
y'all not seen the video of the eagle that tried to pick up that baby?
Actually,
And
yeah,
he-
I think
I've
I
seen
did see
that.
that.
He failed
was in
at it 'cause
Florida,
it was
right?
just- He didn't get a good grip on it.
Right, it got its
Yeah.
the baby's clothes and it slipped. I did see that video.
Them parents
No
fucking
good mother-
lost.
They turned around
that-
for 1 second and that piece of shit
Just swoop
bird,
down on it.
man. And hey, you've seen a harpy eagle?
Yeah. Those are fucking
which they have like a
vicious,
6 foot
bro.
wingspan. That was the one we watched the other day.
beautiful birds, but they're
We watched
fucking
yesterday
vicious.
who the camera cut, and it was this perfect shot. It was the coolest shot between all these leaves, and all you can see is a fucking eagle peeking.
Twisting his head.
And the way
back
they
and forth.
moved, the way
Right,
they
it was
move
Yeah.
their body like individually, and their head will stay still, and they
Oh,
fucking
man.
do some
Like the character Zoroff from The Most Dangerous Game. Zoroff is the expert hunter.
Yeah.
Who can't get he doesn't get a hard on anymore for hunting bears and tigers and shit. He has to hunt humans
Yeah.
in fair conditions. That's what gets his socks off. That's
fuck is that?
that is the air condition. But with our Roadcaster Pro,
I'm gonna knock your
and
bitch
no, we
ass
did not
out.
get paid. We do not get paid for that.
Yeah.
It you won't hear it.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. We watched a harpy eagle attack a sloth,
Yeah.
and we were in here dying.
Oh my god,
I have no clue how sloths and koalas.
we're going to hell for that, by the way.
Yeah. Because that poor sloth.
Did he snatch it off the branch?
No, he fucking.
And then he's already been attacked, like his eyes are gone, everything else, and then it's
And of course, you've seen how a sloth moves.
Yeah.
And the sloth was like swinging
Slow
at,
as shit.
at the eagle. The sloth.
You're already caught, bro.
And the eagle would just fucking, it would stand there and just go like,
Come on, man.
all right.
the eagle almost looked like he was taking it easy to some degree. He was like, oh,
The eagle was like stomping him out,
This is
bro.
an easy day. I could just
In
go
a
ahead and kill him
tree,
like
at the
this.
top of a
I
tree
wonder
in the jungle.
I wonder if the
Holy
eagle thought in his head, like, oh, I've almost already killed it.
Yeah.
Because the way it looks is, I mean, it's not, they're not human. So I wonder if its thought is, oh, I must have already killed this thing, or close to dying. Because the eagle didn't attack it again. If he thought it was fully alive, that eagle would have plucked his eyeballs out.
Wasn't moving
But the
fast
eagle was
enough.
just like,
It's just odd.
or well, that's the last reaction. Or they just know how dumb and slow the
I was about
sloth
to say,
is.
they probably,
Probably to their credit, you're right.
yeah, generation after generation, they've had plenty of sloth meat.
That's like their primary like choice.
Sloths, I think monkeys. There
Yeah.
were like 3 or 4 different breeds of monkeys.
Okay.
That they
Yeah, the sloth
consume.
apparently doesn't get the sloth. Let's be fair. The sloth eats a poison leaf, making them almost they're hard to digest. It might
Yeah.
kill you to eat the sloth. That doesn't mean an eagle doesn't get hungry and try it every once in a while.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, the sloth, when it's born, the mother gives it like her feces or the or whatever's left over of the.
Is that the sloth or the koala?
koala.
that's the koala?
Koala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
they-
there was something
But
like
the sloth
that
is
with
like the
sloths
sloth
as well.
If they're so stupid and slow that something's got to be going on, otherwise evolution would have selected them to not exist
This
anymore.
is what I'm saying about.
Yeah.
I don't know how sloths made it.
This long, man.
Every other animal you look at, it's like I see how this thing made it. Even deer, as fucking dumb as they are, they can run for years, and they're very fast.
Yeah.
That's how they've survived. That
Right.
alone. Sloths, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how they've made it,
But they're here.
but they're here.
And so are eagles. And eagles are like the velociraptors of the modern world, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
They're just completely sociopathic.
yeah.
They're just evaluating the
The
situation.
way they move, the way they, yeah.
That's
way
the
they
one I want.
assess.
Zoom in. And it's like sitting just like Batman is in that scene from China in The Dark Knight.
Just looking at this
Sweet.
thing
Just on
a
the other
mile
side.
away.
Then
Yep.
it dives. And just goes and gets it gets its target. And it never fails. Well, it fails, but it never misses its target. Like, it never doesn't make contact with its target, which is incredible. Because they're timing the movement of the person. These things aren't sitting still. They're not looking at something a couple football fields away, which they have that ability to see that far.
Yeah.
They're not looking that far away going, okay, it stopped moving. Let me go. No, they're looking at it and readjusting and making it audible the entire time in the air and then grabbing that poor bastard right up off his feet or failing to grab him. Either way.
Imagine just death coming at you from above. Like
Jeepers
that.
Creepers, bro.
Jesus.
Some
I mean,
Jeepers Creepers shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because eagles they're the ones that actually mate on a free fall, right?
Some of them, not
Some of
all
them
of
do,
them.
not
do
all of
that.
them, but-
yeah, I believe I forget the breed, but yeah, some eagles they do a free fall.
Yeah.
Basically, they attach their claws, like they grab each other, and they free fall through the air, and then they separate at the last second. And if they both survive, they mate for life.
Which is so wild.
some gangster shit.
That's crazy.
That's a pretty good test of,
That's a
oh,
good
this
litmus test,
motherfucker
yeah.
is gonna
you real about this shit or not?
Yeah. I can make some good babies with him.
If we think about this,
Or
humans
her.
did this too. It was two men, I'm sure, two males fighting to the death often. Like if you guys think, if y'all think that at the beginning of our evolutionary history, we were completely like,
Oh fuck no.
Want to go out on a date?
Like
Yeah.
no, it was
no, it was either
back to the
I'm going to
club.
force this poor woman to, I don't know, be my second part of my flesh or whatever,
Mhm.
or
My rib.
Or the other alternative was, okay, you want a standoff with this other guy? Because if you're a dude back then, and probably the dude phrase of like the jock that's just like, yeah, she's into me. Yeah, 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 yeah. That guy still existed back then.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, the only way for her to really get her socks off on me is for me to whip this motherfucker's ass.
That's just guys hidden.
And yeah, and I'm sure they weren't like good fights.
No.
I'm sure it was like one almost killed the other one with a rock
It's
or something like
100%.
that.
It was the old
Chimps
club.
do this all the time. Chimps, and they do this all the time. Silverback gorillas beat each other's fucking lungs back in on themselves all the time. We, once upon a time, which explains why I think when people fight and they black out and they just are just, I mean,
Rage
everyone's
monsters.
really been there before.
Yeah.
You black out, and when I say black out, you're just completely animatronic. You're just,
Yeah.
you're the only thing you can see is the emotions that you're feeling at the moment, which are, I've got to
Red.
annihilate the thing in front of me,
All you see is
or I
red.
got to run from it.
Yep.
Fight or flight. But the actual fight or flight mode where you're the rational part of you is like going out the room to where you need to evaluate things in real time.
Yeah.
And I think basketball, when you paid millions of dollars, is a lot like that. And when the moment of truth comes, everyone goes into that gear, and the one that ain't afraid, he's the one that comes out. Last year was Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
And I think this year so far it's been LeBron James, in my personal opinion,
I think so.
and Jimmy Butler.
I have become, I was already a huge fan of Jimmy Butler, but he's only risen in my view.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James also. I was telling at the birthday party I was just at, there was a moment before yesterday's Lakers versus Denver Nuggets game started where the camera people got a perfect shot right over Anthony Davis's shoulder of LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before the tip-off. I believe AD was jumping for the ball. And he turned and he looked at LeBron. And, you know, before the game, everybody's dapping each other up. And, all right, let's have a good game. All right, let's go, you know, that type of thing. Anthony Davis looked at LeBron and he did like that. And LeBron went,
It's over.
Yep.
I went, oh, God. I went, oh, God, no.
So
I went, Denver, get the fuck out of here.
this man
Get out of his way.
just walked in.
Last time I seen him look like that, I always talk about it. Game 6 versus Boston.
I think LeBron
Yeah.
is
With
a-
Miami, 45 points.
Yep.
Sent them boys home.
let's put some respect on LeBron James's name, and let's come clean about our predilections and just why we're trepidatious to kind of crown this man.
Yeah.
That king me queen me shit, which is another topic. But he's the king in his mind, but he's playing like the king in reality right now.
Yeah.
This guy's looking at his teammates and going, all right, follow
It's time.
me. I will bring you to the promised land. And there's a certain, like, he's very crisp right now. The decisions he's making are he's very surgical out there.
He looks to me like he knows he's the best player. He's playing like he knows he's the best player. Like I said, the Clippers play like they think they're supposed to win. They play like they think they're supposed to win. Miami plays like they don't know they're supposed to lose. LeBron James is playing right now like he, in his head, is the best guy on the floor. And I love when he plays like that. I like when LeBron gets a little arrogant on the court.
And I think
sends people shit to the
and
fifth
to
row.
his credit, he's been that way all playoffs.
Yeah.
All bubble, really.
Yeah.
It just took him some time to get his shot down. But, I mean, in terms of, like, his ability to bring AD out of his shell. Jesus.
Yeah.
Did you hear his response to the MVP voting? Did y'all hear this?
I did hear it. But
Did you?
No, I haven't heard it.
For anybody listening who has not heard this, LeBron James was asked about the new MVP or the second time MVP, Giannis. there were 100 total votes, I think, and everybody got to vote first, second, and third. Who they
Yeah.
thought. Giannis got 84 first place votes out of 100. LeBron got 16.
Okay.
LeBron got 84 second place votes. Giannis got 16, so on. And there was a third guy. I don't even remember who I think James Harden was the third guy on the list, but
Kawhi
anyway.
was the fifth, and then the fourth guy I think was it Luka? I think it was Luka.
I don't remember. Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. But so LeBron was asked after the game last night what he
Yeah.
thought about the MVP voting, and he went, it kind of pissed me off. And again, I was like,
All right.
uh-oh, y'all might have done fucked up.
What we got?
Y'all might have fucked up. He said, me getting only 16, I feel like, the MVP has become more about narratives than it is about who's the best player. And I thought that was rich coming from LeBron James.
Yeah.
That's been my
Who
ultimate
Who
criticism
flips
of
the
him.
narrative on a constant basis, spins it whichever way works for him.
Yeah.
You watch Game of Zones, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They play on that
Flawlessly.
just
Yeah.
perfectly. He seems, over the years, he has seemed to me like he was more interested in the narrative about him as opposed to just winning.
Yeah.
Like, the narrative was the more important thing. When he lost to Golden State, he came out with the cast on his hand. The Dallas series was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's been a few times where I was like, come on, man. Like, you just lost.
Yeah.
You lost. That's fine. Say y'all didn't get it done. That's okay. Like, people lose. Someone has to lose.
Yeah, it
Right?
happens.
It's fine. But him saying that it pissed him off, and I was like, you know what? That's kind of how it's been looking on the court. He looks like he's playing a little pissed off. He's been sending people shit to the fifth row. If he's always, this was another thing. He does it every once in a while.
Yeah.
The chase down block.
Mm-hmm.
If LeBron James was looking for that a little bit more often, there's no reason he couldn't be sending people shit to the fifth row a few times a game, and he has been.
Yeah, he's
So he's
He has
showing
been.
what basically we've been asking for.
What I've been asking for.
Yeah.
I don't think I think LeBron's fans
I've already
are all like,
they
don't
drank the
change.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
right.
long
They're
time
like,
ago.
yeah, this is, but to me, I definitely see a difference in his play. And I think there was a big difference in James Harden as well. We talked about that.
Yeah, I feel like this bubbles forced them to have to go back to their bare grass roots of just playing basketball.
Yeah.
I remember LeBron saying, it's different. He hated it. He didn't want to play in the bubble at first.
Yeah.
He hated it, and he didn't want to play in the bubble at first. That was the first step. The second step is, okay, we're going to play in the bubble. We need to play in the bubble because I'm going to be 36 years old next year, and I'll be too old. Then he's like, it's still different because there's no fans. Now he seems like he's embracing it entirely, where no one's saying you're the king, you're the champ, you're this, you're that, you're King James, you're the kid from Akron, whatever the fuck it is that he brands himself as, because he does these things.
Yeah.
Do you walk around going, I'm the kid from da 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 da? No other player in the league does that but LeBron.
Yeah.
He's from Akron, Ohio. I didn't even know where Akron, Ohio is. No one really does outside of LeBron James.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Unless you work there or you have affiliates there, you don't keep up with where it's at. If I say the king from Akron or the kid from Akron, you know what I'm talking about. LeBron James has completely branded himself and controlled his narrative in that way, but at the same time, maybe this will help him. Maybe he was right all along to have this approach. Okay, I'm not better than Jordan on the court, but you know what? I can at 35, I can galvanize the troops and get people to believe.
Yeah.
During a time where the country's in a crisis,
Yeah.
LeBron James seems like the right guy to have on the gas.
Yeah.
And confession now, I'm pulling for it.
All right.
Yeah, this is a big legacy year for him.
Yeah.
There's a piece of me rooting for LeBron. There's a larger piece of me rooting for Jimmy Butler. I love him.
Yeah.
How can you not love Jimmy
That's
Butler?
the
I
thing.
love
man.
Jimmy
He's
Butler. He's the best, man.
Yeah.
He's just the
Texas
best.
boy.
What's that story about Jimmy Butler? He knows it.
Oh, yeah. So Jimmy Butler was kicked out of his house when he was, I think it was 14, 15. Ended up going to a JUCO college. I think it was
Tyler.
Tyler
He went
College?
to Tyler Junior College in Tyler,
And
Texas.
then from there, he wrote a note to Marquette. He had to fax it in through McDonald's.
Wow. Talk about get it out the mud.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fuck with it.
got on the Marquette's team.
Do what you
and
got to do.
Started from there.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And this is a boy from Texas.
Tomball, Texas, which is smaller than our hometown of Port Arthur, Texas. They always just put Houston. I'm like,
No.
Houston,
We're not going to give that
relax.
to you. Yeah.
Relax. You can't take every good athlete.
You
and just
took
claim
almost
them as
every
yours.
rapper. You can't
tried
take
to,
every athlete.
but we know
Yeah.
the truth.
Yep.
We know.
Yes, sir.
We know what Bun and Pimp are from.
You know?
I feel like everyone in Los Angeles kind of has to feel that way too. The Los Angeles greater county
Just takes
greater,
over.
yeah. It's just huge. You know, Burbank, Glendale, Pasadena, Studio City, Culver City, Santa Monica, Malibu,
But everybody just says
L.A. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
New
Gotta give
York,
respect to these
the boroughs,
cities, man.
like, right? No one cares you're from Queens. You're
Nah.
from New York.
That's it.
And I'm not from New York. I'm from New York City.
The only other place out of New York is Brooklyn. Is the only one that gets respect out of the rest of them.
It seems like that's more now than it has been in
the
quite
past.
some years.
Yeah. Probably.
I've always felt like Brooklyn. I always go like, that's somebody I like in business. You know, where's Jay-Z from?
Uh,
Marcy
I know Howard
Projects.
Stern is from that area, of Brooklyn. I
Is
think.
Marcy in Brooklyn, or is it?
the Marcy Projects. He's from the Marcy Projects. I know that. Why am I blanking on
These
where?
New York guys though walk a different way though.
Not
That's where I'm going with
Harlem,
this.
Not Bronx.
Nah, it's not Bronx.
Not Queens.
Nah, it's not.
He's in the boroughs, right? He
Nas is from Queens.
Yeah, Nas is from Queens.
Why do I know where Nas is from and not Jay-Z? That's so disrespectful.
he's part owner of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes,
thought
but I mean,
I'm
he
thinking
couldn't
it's-
buy
It's a
into
good
the.
point.
He couldn't buy into the Knicks. You know what? Is the team moving to New York?
Hey, that's the
Close
thing.
enough, fuck
That's the
it.
thing is I just had this discussion the other day, and maybe this is a good way to segue towards our last, like a little brief point,
Yeah.
which has to do with sports, entertainment, etc. Most of the people you think are actually influencers are not influencers at all. In
Guys.
reality,
I can't tell y'all how many influencers.
I mean, it could be Taylor Swift. I don't care. She's not. She's not. She don't own. Like Jay-Z is as big as you can be in entertainment.
Yeah.
He can barely own a percentage of a second-rate team.
He had. I always
Franchise.
hated that line when Kanye was like, "Oh, I would call Jay-Z and get Chris Humphries kicked off the team."
It's like, yeah.
Jay-Z can't get nobody kicked off no team, and
Yeah.
that's J motherfucking Z.
Yeah.
Levels
He
to
is-
this.
He's that nigga. Jay is that, and he has been for like 3 decades.
Definitely,
Yeah.
he's the GOAT, man. But
2.5 decades.
there's still levels to this seniority sort of. I'm a pull my rank power stroke business.
I believe he had 2%. I think it was
Yeah,
of
the-
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
2%,
Which
and
which is incredible. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it shows you that even if you're whoever you think you are,
Can't even really get a foot in the door.
Madonna, Katy Perry, whatever. Just think of celebrities and put a golden emblem around them and say these guys are the people that have millions and millions, the Kardashians, whatever. They can't move the barometer
No.
in that economic world.
Yeah, not that oil kind of money. I forget
oil money?
what that owner for that Prokhorov, I believe, was his name. He was
Mm-hmm.
Russian. I forget what he did, but he was dude
Yeah.
that just had billions. It just Steve Ballmer.
Type
And their
of money.
Dude
influence,
got more money than God.
Yeah.
their influence is amazing. It's like they're connected to companies that you have in your house.
Yeah.
You know, the algorithms that Windows designed apply to a lot of other things that aren't Windows. They just were patented there and they're used other places.
Yeah.
Basic AI systems, a lot of other things Windows
man.
worked on originally. And if you have a PC in your house, you're still using Windows current material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you
Yep.
got a Tesla, or if you're looking at, that guy, Elon Musk, is going the same direction. It's practicality. Facebook. Oh, if you got a Facebook, you also have no, hang on. I have a Facebook. You have an Instagram. Oh, I love Insta, whatever. I don't give a shit. The bottom line is it's the same people. They own both.
Yeah.
Same world. Same
And-
zip codes.
And they're gonna bankrupt every other social media company to come along. They just fucking. What are they doing?
We can do that.
Sure.
Give me that sword, heat it up a lot, and I'm going to chop right through them.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Yeah. Who's their lead programmer?
We could
We'll
buy-
pay you another $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Come over here and just code that same
Then
shit.
Neuralink comes along and
TikTok.
it works like a quantum sword, bro. it happens.
That's gonna be-
and one person has their head chopped off and the other one doesn't, and you put it in a cage. You're like, is the head chopped off dead or alive? You won't know until you open it up. Shout out to Schrodinger's cat. That's the world we're heading towards.
Yeah.
That's Neuralink, right?
Yeah.
Bring it all the way
All the
down
way in,
to
it
the
just-
to the most basic level of electrical signals, computers and brains right next to each other. No delay.
I can't wait to play God of War with my Neuralink.
Oh, man.
Oh fuck! Oh, it's gonna be
Man.
awesome.
I want to do some Avatar shit. I want to go to bed, and when I wake up in my dreams, I'm still awake and guiding this.
Yeah,
This-
have full control of your dreams, which
Man.
is a thing that some people claim to be able to do. The
Naturally,
lucid dreaming or whatever.
remote control, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you would
Just
snap
dream
yourself.
the happiest shit. Oh god.
Man.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh,
I just fix all my problems.
yeah.
Just go to bed.
Well,
Wake up knowing Spanish.
I can give you one bad dream.
I can hear one of those songs like, and I
I
go
give
to
you one extremely bad dream. We got Floyd Mayweather.
Nice. That was a nice segue, man. That was good, boy. Man, this guy's good.
Hey,
You really
hey.
came back from that all right thing you started with.
Okay, come on now. You're not gonna give me that.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about the all right thing is we went on Double Toasted. We went on Double Toasted. Shout out to Double Toasted. And I said all right, and they said as a result, well, just don't talk. And I was like, hang on, fuck off, because I was trying to quote Matthew McConaughey, but I've been sitting, but I've been sitting in a corner for an hour,
Yeah.
and they just bring you up there, and you ain't talk. You haven't spoken in 2 hours. The first word you say sounds like. Just like it fucking.
We had that 12% beer with Martin and shit too.
Oh man, it was fun
Shit
times.
was-
But I was
yeah,
trying to do the all right.
But yeah, man. So we got a horrible nightmare that's about to happen. So we have Floyd Mayweather deciding that he wants to have one more fight. And I want you to guess who this one more fight's going to be.
Well, I know who it is.
So as we've seen, they've been Jake Paul and Logan Paul have been getting into this fighting game where they want to be boxers. And some reason, and I don't understand why, Floyd Mayweather has decided that he wants to take on Logan Paul.
Listen, Floyd, go ahead.
No, I want to hear your thoughts on this because I'm completely disgusted by this at this point. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this.
I'll go first.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
I feel like if you're expecting Floyd to make the right decision at this point in time, then good luck. So if I'm
Floyd,
if I'm in the Athletic State Boxing Commission or any of these other guys, I just don't approve it.
That's the thing.
Bottom line is, like Logan Paul, if Floyd wants to hurt this man seriously, it could be really bad. We have to really think about someone's health here, for Christ's sake.
how do you know how big he is?
Logan Paul, I think, is about maybe 6'3".
He's a bigger guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty nice sized dude.
I mean,
He's going to get knocked out by Floyd. I mean, it's
yeah.
What am I supposed to believe here, guys?
Have anywhere close to equal punching power to Floyd. He
Or
would
skill
barely be
or-
able to keep up with this
Floyd
guy.
wouldn't even have to hit him hard. He'd hit him so perfectly on the
On the
jaw
chin
here
that he can knock him out
jab him
easily.
out. I
Like, that's the
guarantee you.
thing.
Guarantee you. There's no way. This isn't. Conor was a professional fighter.
Yeah.
That was considered a joke, and it was a joke.
Yeah,
if
it
we're
was
being
a
honest.
joke.
100% it was.
This is not a joke. This shouldn't be legal.
Yeah.
I wish I could add something extra to this, but that's pretty much it.
That's where you at.
That's pretty much where I'm also disgusted
Yeah.
by it. And just like you said, if we're expecting Floyd to make a good decision around his legacy, right,
This
which
is-
was my thing, I'm like, dude,
You're
you're in the discussion for the greatest fighter ever.
And you're continuously tarnishing it by trying to do these other
Doing
little
this
one-off
stupid
fights.
shit. And you know what? What if Floyd keeps doing this and he's fucking 50 years old and he fights some goofy celebrity and they actually do catch him?
Well, yeah, I mean,
And now we have to have an
And he's
image.
50.
And you know, it would be so controversial. It would be the image that stuck in everyone's mind
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Because Floyd's never been on the canvas.
at all.
If you had an image of him being dropped, especially
By
by some
some
second rank like fucking joke, you know,
Yeah.
some what was Humphreys? What was the Kardashians?
Chris Humphries.
Chris
Chris
Humphries.
Humphries liked character going in there and catching him on the right hand. Or
Just
something.
one good catch.
You could see that that match, right? Yeah.
Look, Floyd is not a big guy.
No.
He's walking around at 160 pounds
At the
most of the
most.
time.
Mhm.
Maybe cuts down a little bit to
Yeah.
fight. 5'6", 7",
5'7", yeah, I think so.
5'7".
Yeah.
If him at 50 years old is fighting a bigger guy, which I can see him doing, even if it's an untrained guy, but you're 50 though.
That's the thing. And this
And
dude's like maybe 27, 28.
He'll take care of Logan, whoever the fuck,
Yeah.
no problem. I'm saying if he keeps on doing this, it could end that way. I don't think this shit will.
Yeah.
I think Floyd at
still be
at
handily
43 will be
Yeah.
able to take care of this dude, no problem. But at 50 years old, and he does some type of goofy exhibition with somebody who
Which relates back to
is
the
not
Mike
supposed
Tyson,
to beat him. Right. At least
to
with
fight
Mike
somebody.
Tyson, he's fighting Roy Jones.
which is
And people listen.
That's a difference there.
Yeah, people don't know
yeah.
about Roy Jones.
So,
Okay, people don't know. People don't know Roy Jones is actually significantly taller than Mike Tyson.
yeah.
Roy Jones was
and Roy
like-
Jones walks around about 185 pounds.
And
Roy
he's still
Jones
been
is
boxing.
6'1". That's what everybody was saying. Oh,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's going to be too big for him.
Nah.
No. Mike Tyson was just built like a brick wall.
He'll be heavier, but the reach advantage, all that stuff will be.
Still won't exist. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be pretty neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I.
And they're both professional fighters who, in fighting, categories, everybody says these are two great fighters, right? So there's no shame, and both of them have losses on their record also.
I
And
don't
they're
like
also
this fight,
calling.
man.
I don't like it either.
I love Roy
This is
Jones so
just-
much. I
Yeah.
feel like if Mike Tyson somehow knocked him out because he called him, it's because Roy Jones is so punch drunk at this point in time from fighting so
He's
much.
still, because he's still doing exhibitions, right?
Because if
up to this
pound for
point.
pound, you can't convince me that Mike Tyson's even close to Roy Jones.
No.
Pound for pound,
Yeah.
meaning all things being equal, Roy Jones is that dude, and Mike Tyson was a guy who pound for pound, Mike Tyson's pretty great too. I don't even mean to disrespect.
no.
Of course.
Just
Of
Roy
course.
Jones is just such a Roy Jones is good.
So skilled.
He's literally
just-
as good as
on, man.
anyone that's ever
Yeah.
lived when he was at his prime.
Exactly.
He's as good as Ray Robinson, and I say that quite.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I be telling people about. Most people who would hear this would think that was a hot take, but it
but
ain't.
nah.
Roy Jones is the only guy I've ever seen put his hands behind his back and knock out a guy from that position. He put his hands behind his back.
Yeah, it's a real fight. This ain't fucking
and
around.
he
Yeah,
came around and hit the guy in the ear and dropped him.
Yeah.
imagine how hard that is.
What?
You have it right here by their head. You're fighting. You're somewhere here, right? It's the head's over here. Imagine putting it all the way back here. You're giving yourself more inches of disadvantage, and you still, and then just kind of.
You're still fast enough to get the amount of distance your hand has
It was
to
against
travel.
James
It's
Toney
insane.
too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think he knocked someone out that way, and I think he knocked down James Toney that way. And James Toney, if you ever played Fight Night, James Toney, man, he's one of those guys who just brings everything. He's like a black Ricky Hatton.
Because he was younger than him,
Just
right?
relentless.
In that fight. He was younger than him. He was like a little bit. he
Yeah,
didn't have
Roy
as many
Jones was
years.
younger back then. Yeah. That was Roy Jones in his prime.
Yeah.
But that was a legitimate all-time top 50 fighter
Knockout, yeah.
in that division of all
Yeah.
time. Who he knocked out with it. Well, he knocked down, I
Yeah,
should say.
yeah.
The one you're talking about is a knockout. I don't remember that guy's
They
name.
stopped the fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
But it was a professional fighter that he. So Roy Jones is on another level, and I'm scared about that exhibition, or they're not calling it a fight.
Yeah,
exhibition or
it's
sparring
Sparring
or whatever.
type of thing. But remember, we had
Still.
the fear that it was going to be Evander Holyfield
Yeah,
for a while. Like, they had talked about this
and it's
shit.
crazy watching Mike like do sparring stuff with
Oh
his
my
partners
God.
at 50 or whatever. Oh my
Scary.
God!
It's terrifying to see this man move like he
Oh my
moves, man.
God! This man punches with the rage of several generations of black men. Several.
Well, I mean, let's go into Mike Tyson real quick.
Yeah.
He was recently on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan, kind of the godfather of podcasting.
Sure.
Here's the thing. He went on there and asked Joe, soberly, like, I got a question. I need your serious opinion on. That's basically the way it was phrased.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm about to reveal something about myself that most people won't understand, but I hope you've heard of someone or heard about something that relates back to the story that can help guide me on the straight and narrow to find my answer. And what he talked about was the carnage, the rage, the total, like, the sort of visual, sort of, as it were, emotional, conscious response to violence, to the sound of breaking bones, to the sound of blood vessels popping when you punch something so hard.
Pure
That gave him an erection.
Pure
Walking into the
psychopath.
ring, feeling the fear in his own anxieties, looking into another man's eyes, and then slowly watching his fear and anxiety trickle back down into this other soul.
This,
And then his dick gets hard, and he's like, okay, let's go. Thank God he boxed.
This is a serial killer in the making.
Thank God he boxed.
Yes.
In the making.
If he would have been back in the
making.
day
Teddy Atlas
and didn't do boxing,
Teddy Atlas knew
Man.
the only alternative wasn't court. It wasn't this. It wasn't that.
yeah.
I'm assuming Atlas is a reliable source here, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he had to pull a gun on Mike Tyson in one of his moments.
Yeah.
And one of the moments, I mean, like doing some crazy, reprehensible behavior that you can't mitigate in any sort of normal way with normal people. Mike Tyson seems like the guy that just, he just flips the switch and he's zoned out. The rest of the world just disappears. And the only way to like get him to focus any energy back towards you is pull a gun, put it right at his head. That's what Teddy Atlas was basically saying.
Wow.
That's what he was saying. He's like, it's not like I've had issues with fighters, is what he would say.
Mm-hmm.
But this wasn't a fighter. This was a man that was so insecure he became a monster. And monsters aren't fighters.
No.
They're something else entirely. And Mike Tyson was a monster. Then he found some toad poison. And now he's this enlightened kind of hippie black guy who's saying that the gods have reignited his ego. I'll have to see it to believe it to some degree. We'll have to see it. I really do think there's a possibility he catches Roy Jones. Because he's the one guy, if there's a fighter's
chance, then.
the
whole
puncher's chance. Yeah, puncher's chance. Most of the time, that means you're outgunned by a large margin. But in this case, it's like, I don't know. If he caught with one hook, he might see you wince a little bit,
Yep.
and then he's Mike Tyson.
That's what he
again.
needs.
Like, just fucking over and over again. And when he knocked people
gods.
out, it was a relentless attack. It
was-
wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't one shot like what's his face, the current, or he just lost it.
Wilder.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
He waits for that one shot. Mike Tyson was waiting for that one
That barrage
moment of rage. Yeah. That
punches.
mirage of punches, that fucking fury, that frenzy of just like,
Oh,
I'm
man.
going to murder your family.
Even
Yeah.
the way he punches is just
Just-
got so much. He puts every, as a put your hips into
Looks like a pit
punch.
bull.
He's putting
man.
his soul into them punches, man.
He got his hips, knees, ankles, wrists,
Yo.
elbows, shoulders, spine.
To say the
Three
gods,
generations of black people.
to say the gods ignited your your fire
The gods
to
have
punch,
reignited my fury.
to fight again.
Mike Tyson is out of his mind
Yeah.
and always has been.
I wonder if that's like he gets a groaner response. He gets a groaner response, and it's like, oh,
There we go.
it's like the same thing when you get horny. You just,
I got it
especially
back.
if you're around somebody you're about to have sex with, the conversation, like you're looking at her, she's looking at you, or
Yeah.
whoever, and the conversation basically goes. It becomes way smaller. The conversation shrinks, and now it's just this intense moment of like just fire between the two of you that's just sparking and it's rising to the top. And someone needs to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it, it's a problem.
Yep.
But I only want to talk a little bit about it, because the next thing I want to do is touch you.
Yep.
And then the rest is history.
Hey,
You put it like that.
man.
Mike Tyson feels that.
Next thing I want to do,
We just changed the energy in
Mike
here. Hold up.
Tyson, Mike Tyson feels that when he goes into the ring,
Yeah.
before he's ready to knock someone's head, metaphorically and literally speaking, out of the fucking ring.
it's literally.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Man.
I have no reason not to believe him.
Of course not.
But
Who's
serial
gonna know?
killers, what's his Jeffrey Dahmer talked
Yeah.
about the same thing. And listen, he said the same thing. He said he would get aroused by that entire process of, taking advantage of somebody, meaning I'm going to capture you, I'm going to hunt you, I'm going to lure you back to my apartment, and I'm going to kill you. That's what he did. And then he would do all these crazy things because he was Jeffrey Dahmer to eat the people.
Get your fat ass back here.
What kind of what was that?
I'm feeling we got too.
You're thinking of Seven. You're thinking of that fat guy in Seven.
That couldn't have been the worst in the box.
to do that.
Jeffrey Dahmer going, get your fat ass back over here. It's frightening.
I know.
Yeah, it's frightening.
Damn it.
Mike Tyson has that same fever blood, that fever dream stuff where he's just, I woke up, I took the toad poison, I looked at the toad looked at me, I stare into the abyss, I stare into the toad, it's not that I stare into the toad stares back into me, okay? He basically said that.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold.
And he's seen life as it was meant to be, and the gods ignited his ego.
Man,
and here we are. 2020.
We started back.
Mike Tyson.
Back in the ring.
Roy Jones Jr.
Let's get it.
Whenever.
Oh, man.
Eventually.
Yeah.
COVID-19 pending.
Yep.
And that's it, guys.
Man.
That's all we got to say.
That's all.
We busted a whole load in here.
Yep.
We busted a hole. Relax. Okay.
All right, guys. So we're going to end it right there. Of course, like, subscribe. We'll be with y'all soon.
Later.
Peace. All right, guys. So we're going to end it right there. Of course, if you like the content, you like what we're doing, go ahead and like, subscribe. Also hit that notification button right underneath this video. That's how you're going to be able to know exactly when each one of our content is going to be launching. Also, thank you all. We appreciate you all taking your time out to listen to us, watch us. Of course, welcome to the family, and we'll be with you all soon. Peace.